शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै। नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ॐ नमः परमहंसास्वादित चरणकमलचिन्मकरन्दाय भक्तजनमानसनिवासाय श्रीरामचन्द्राय ॐ। So in the last class we just finished the 23rd sarga of Balakanda. We have the 24th sarga today, which we will. There was one point which I should have said and I forgot mentioning it in the last class, which is about this, the last shloka. So in the 22nd shloka, Nyavasat Sukham Nyavasat Sa Sukham Tatra Kamashrama Pade Tatha. So it was also called Kamashrama. So it's being called Kamashrama here. Earlier it was said Sthanvashrama, etc. So this is Shiva's ashrama. So how Kamashrama? Here there are various meanings given. So one meaning is that here Kama Dahana happened, so therefore it is Kamashrama. So it's not Kamasya ashrama in that sense. So it's not Manmatha's ashrama, but this is Shiva's ashrama. So Kamashrama has to be explained that way. Or you can say that so this is kind of my interpretation I'm trying to give, which is to say that what you take as Kama is not Kama. Kama means somebody who's very handsome, beautiful to see. That meaning you can give. So what you see, so Kama Kamaha we say for Vishnu or Krishna, usually we say what you see. So you are taking this Manmatha to be beautiful, but he's Kama Kamaha. This Krishna is even beautiful, more beautiful than Manmatha itself. So that way you can interpret it to Shiva also. So Shiva is Kama Kamaha, etc. So such Shiva, this is the ashrama of that Shiva. You can say like that. Or Kamashrama also means, so Kama is, so Kamashrama means Kama. Now Ishvara has Shiva has defeated Kama. So now this ashrama is Ishvara's ashrama, something like that. So anyway, Kamashrama means, so you should interpret it to give a meaning that this is Ishvara's ashrama. So Kamasya Ishvarasya ashrama. So Kameshwarasya ashrama. This is like that. And one more thing, since I've been speaking, so my pratigna was to talk with Tilaka Vyakhya, but now and then I'm mentioning some important things, beautiful things from other Vyakhyas, which I forgot to mention in the last class. I marked it here for mentioning, but only after the class got over I remembered. So in the 11th shloka in the last sarga, so Kritodvahantu Devesham Gachantam Samarudganam. So this Kritodvaha and Kritodvaham and Gachantam, these were adjectives used for Shiva there. So Shiromani Kara had some beautiful interpretations to give to that. I'm just going to mention one each for that. So Krutodvaham, usually Bhushanakara has translated it to mean, Krutodvaham means one who got married. So that married Shiva, this Kama tried to instigate or something like that. So that didn't work out, obviously. Krutodvaham means, so Tilakakara has interpreted to mean, Krutodvaha means one who has risen up from Samadhi. So she was always in Samadhi, but sometimes he comes out of Samadhi. At that point, Manmatha saw him and tried to put this Vasana and the Kama desire in him. So Shiromanikara had a nice meaning. I thought I should have said Krutodvaha means Kritaha Udi Narakriti Vibhuja Paramatma Raghunatha Vichare Vahaha Prayatno Yena. So he Krutodvaha means, so he who has his dhyana always on Vibhuja Narakriti Dhrita Rama. So on Rama who has taken human form with two hands. So Vibhuja Narakriti. So why Vibhuja Narakriti? Krishna also had Narakriti, but there are scholars who say, and it is well founded from the Mahabharata itself, that Krishna showed, at least to some people, including people like Arjuna, that he always showed them their Chaturbhuja form only. So always some people saw, if not all, at least there is some evidence in Mahabharata itself to show directly. It comes even in Bhagavad Gita. So after the Vishwarupa Sandarshanam, so Arjuna also says, so please show me back the form that you always show me, which is your Chaturbhuja form. So I don't remember the shloka exactly, but after Vishwarupa, Arjuna is scared looking at that Vishwarupa, and then he says, why don't you show me back the form that you always show me, which is your Chaturbhuja form. So things like that. So Chaturbhuja Narakriti, you can mistake it to take Krishna or something. So Vibhuja Narakriti is Rama's Shiva's Upasya Deva, you know, Shiva's Ishtadeva is Rama, they say. So anyway, so Krutodvaham means one who always meditates on Rama, and he gives all the derivative meanings. He's not just speculating. So how Krutodvaha means one who is always meditating on Rama, he gives all those things. I'm not going into it today. I would have gone it in the last class. And then Gachantam means, so Gachantam is Swashritebhyo Bodhayantam. So Gachantam means, so all Gati Dhatus. So there is a general rule, all Gati Dhatus, you can give the meaning of Jnanam. So Gachantam means Bodhayantam. So this Shiva is one who does Atma Jnana Bodha to all his Sishya. So all those Munis are around him. He always keeps teaching them about Atma, something like that. So Krutodvaham Gachantam, I should have mentioned it in the last session itself, I forgot. So I'm mentioning it now. Now we will enter into Chaturvimsha Sargaha. It has some 32 shlokas or something. We'll try to finish it today. We will finish it today, even if it takes 5-10 minutes extra, hopefully. So Tatah Athat Chaturvimsha Sargaha Tatah Prabhate Vimale Kritanhikamarindamo Vishwamitram Puraskritya Natyas Tiram Upagato. So remember where they were in the last Sarga. We saw that they were in this Kamashrama. They approached there. So and they spent the night in that Kamashrama, and the chapter ended there. And Vishwamitra is entertaining them with nice stories and things like that. So now here in this Sarga, so it dawned. The next morning happened, and Valmiki is describing the next day's events. Tatah Prabhate Vimale. So Tataha means thereafter. Prabhate Vimale Prabhate. So when it became clear morning, so when it dawned the next morning, Kritanhikam Arindamo. So these Arindamo means Rama Lakshmana. Rama and Lakshmana. Arindamo means one who defeats their enemies. So what is the enemies that they have defeated here? Not yet. You know, Tataka is going to be the first demoness that Rama is going to slay. That has not yet happened. Tataka will be introduced in this Sarga. So Arindamaha here means they have defeated enemies like laziness, etc. So if you have noticed, even in the previous Sarga, etc., you have seen that. So Rama, Lakshmana do their Sandhyavandanam, etc. on time and things like that. So even if they are children, they have not given into laziness. So that is such kind of Aris they have already defeated. They have had their mind under control. Such Rama and Lakshmana, Kritanhikam. So having done their morning Ahnikas, Sandhyavandanam, etc., Vishwamitram Puraskritya Vidyastiram Upagato. So they approached the Tira of Nadi. You know, they are at that confluence of Ganga and Sarayu. So on that banks of that Nadi, let's say Sarayu Nadi for now, because Ganga is going to be described later also. So, or whatever, one of those two rivers, the confluence, they are at the confluence, you know, so they approached that river, and Vishwamitram Puraskritya Nadyas Tiram Upagato. They reached the banks of the river. From the ashrama, they went to the banks of the river by keeping Vishwamitra ahead of that. Means they followed Vishwamitra. So they did their Sandhyavandanam and they approached Vishwamitra and stood in front of him. So Vishwamitra led them to the banks of the river. Teja sarve mahatmano munayas samshitavratah upasthapya shubham navam Vishwamitra matha bruvan. So Teja sarve mahatmanaha munayaha. Te means all those Kamashrama vasinaha munayaha. What did they do? Mahatmanaha, all great Mahatmas, survey all of them, Samshita Vrataha. They also did all their morning Vratams that they have to do, all those Nitya Karmas they have done, such people. So they do all their Karmas usually also, and that day also they did all their Karmas. Upasthapya Shubham Navam Vishwamitra Matha Bruvan. Upasthapya means Upasamipe Sthapya. So near Vishwamitra. So Rama, Lakshmana and Vishwamitra are already at the banks. These people also came there. They kept a boat on the river close to where these people are standing. So Shubham Navam. So a nice beautiful boat they kept there, and they spoke the following words to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra Atha Bruvan. So Atha Bruvan, they spoke the following words to Vishwamitra thereafter. Thereafter means after all of them assembling there and they got the boat there. Arohatu Bhavan Navam Rajaputra Puraskritaha Arishtam Gacchapanthanam Mabhut Kalasya Paryayaha. Arohatu Bhavan. So hey Vishwamitra, you please ascend this this Navam, so this boat you ascend, Arohatu Bhavan Navam, Rajaputra Puraskritaha. Rajaputra Puraskritaha means, so along with these two, so Rajaputra Puraskritaha, people are giving 2-3 meanings. One is that you are one who has been respected or approached and worshipped and served by these Rajaputras, Rama and Lakshmana. So that's one meaning. Or along with these Rajaputra, two Rajaputras, you please ascend the boat. So Rajaputra Puraskritaha, Arishtangaccha Panthanam. So Mabhut Kalasya Paryayaha. Mabhut Kalasya Paryayaha means let it not be late, let it not be delayed. Kalasya Paryayaha Mabhut. So let not time be whiled away or wasted. And Arishtam Gaccha Panthanam. Arishtam, So it's an unusual usage. Arishtam usually we use for any inauspicious thing. So there is so Valmiki is using it, and Tikakaras are also saying Arishtam can also mean auspicious. So Shubham Panthanam Gacha. So in this auspicious marga, so through Ganga Nadi, etc., you go. So let it not be delayed, because you have to go a long way. They have to go up to Vishwamitra's ashrama. So they say, okay, please don't delay. Take this boat and you go further. विश्वामित्रस्तथेत्युक्त्वा तान् ऋषीन् प्रतिपूज्य च ततार सहितस्ताभ्यां सरितं सागरंगमां. So Vishwamitra, he also he heard those words and said tatha. So okay, definitely they okay, all right, and such things. Uktva Tan Rishin Pratipujya cha. So he also paid his courtesies to them. He did his namaskarams to them and all that. Tatara sahitas tabhyam. Tabhyam means Rama Lakshmanabhyam. Tatara. So if you remember last time, you asked me this about Shushubhe. So Shushubhe, Tatara, etc. I told some meaning at that time. So I was kind of wrong. Tatara, Shushubhe, all of these are lit. Lit means so Anadyatana Kale lit. So Anadyatana Purva Kale. So in a past, remote past tense. Remote means past of not today. So for yesterday and then remote past, they use this Tatara, Babhuva, Shushubhe. So that Babhuva is a standard example that comes in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi and Siddhanta Kaumudi. So in the past tense, remote past tense, you know that first letter it gets doubled, and then some other operations happen, and then you see forms like Tatara, Babhuva. In this chapter especially, you will see some usages like that. So this it means some remote past. So it happened like that. Valmiki and Lavakusha are telling so. So Tatara Sahitas Tabhyam. Tabhyam means Rama Lakshmanabhyam. Tatara means he crossed. So but here you should take he did not yet cross, he has begun to cross. So Tatara Sahitas Tabhyam. So what did he cross? What did he begin to cross? Saritam Sagarangamam. So Sarita is that flow of water that's happening. That is that river Ganga which is there in front of them. Sagarangamam. This Ganga is that river that flows into the ocean ultimately. Such Ganga they started to cross over. Tatra Shushrava Vai Shabdam तोय संरंभवर्धितं मध्यमागम्यतो यस्य तस्य शब्दस्य निश्चयं ज्ञातृकामो महातेजा सह रामः कनीयसा. So tatra means so now they are already in the waters on that river, on the boat they are in the waters, they have gone a little ahead. Tatra shushrava vai shabdam toya samrambhavardhitam. So he heard, Rama heard, so he heard some sound. So he was hearing some sounds, shushrava. So he heard at that time, he heard some sounds. Shabdam. So the Shushrava was also like that. So like I told you, Anadyatana Kale lit. So this also is lit. So Shushrava Vai Shabdam Toya Samrambhavardhitam. What is this Shabda? The Shabda is, so see this Valmiki's usage, you know, this Valmiki is telling you what Shabda it is, but Rama does not know what Shabda it is. So Rama is asking what Shabda it is, but Valmiki is already telling you. The Shabda is Toya Samrambhavardhitam Shabdam. So Toya Samrambhavardhitam means, so the waters, you know, these Sarayu and Ganga are coming together, and therefore at that confluence there is some tumultuous sound. He is going to say tumula also. So there's some sound happening there. That Shabda Rama hears, and he is going to ask what is that Shabda. Madhyam Agamya Toyasya. So Madhyam Agamya Toyasya. So Toyasya Madhyam Agamya, having reached not exactly center of the river or anything, but having reached into the waters. You know, boat is on the banks. Now they have entered into the waters and went a little ahead. So Madhyam Agamya Toyasya. Toyasya means of waters of that river. They went into that river, and then he heard this sound and he asked Vishwamitra. So Shabdasya Nishchayam Jnatukamaha. So Ramaha became, so Jnatukamaha Ramaha. So Rama became somebody who is desirous to know. So desirous to know what? Shabdasya Nishchayam. So this and Sahakaniyasa, along with his younger brother, this Rama became inquisitive to know. So Jnatukamaha means so one who is inquisitive to know. So Rama became like that. That's Jnatukamaha Ramaha means Rama became inquisitive to know along with his younger brother. Shabdasya Nishchayam. So he wanted to know what exactly is that sound. Is this the natural sound of water, or is it because of some circumstances, etc. So Shabdasya Nishchayam Jnatukamaha Ramaha Mahateja, that great Tejasvi Rama. So that you have to add this. He became that thing you should add. Jnatukamaha Ramaha. So Babhuva, something like that you should add. So Jataha. So Jnatukamaha Ramaha Jataha. That means Rama became inquisitive to know. Atha Ramas Sarin Madhye Papracha Muni Pungavam Varino Bhidyamanasya Kimayam Tumulodhvanihi. Atha Ramaha Sarin Madhye Papracha. So that Rama, therefore, because he has now got that inquisitive nature, that is, he got that doubt to ask. Shabdasya Nishchayam. So he wanted to know exactly for what is this sound. Therefore, Sarin Madhye, Madhye. So you should not take Madhya means literally, even before Madhyam Agamya and here Sarin Madhye. Don't take literally middle of the river. There is no middle of the river, strictly speaking. So while they were in the water, so Sarin Madhye, Papracha Munipungavam, Papracha, he asked that Munipungava, Vishwamitra, he asked. So Varino Bhidyamanasya Kimayam Tumulo Dhvanihi. So Varinaha Bhidyamanasya, these waters are, so he can see there's some confluence happening. So what is that sound? There's some sound coming from there. What is that sound? Kimayam Tumulo Dhvanihi. So Tumulaha means that tumultuous sound, So Tumulaha Dhvanihi, that sound, what is that sound which is coming? राघवस्य वच श्रुत्वा कौतूहल समन्वितं कथयामास धर्मात्मा तस्य शब्दस्य निश्चयम्. So Raghavasya vachah shrutva, this Vishwamitra, having heard those words of Rama, Raghavasya vachaha kautuhala samanvitam. So what kind of words they were? So he was inquisitive. So kautuhalam here means, so you can take ashcharyam also, or kautuhalam means inquisitiveness. Along with that inquisitiveness, Rama is asking. So it's ashcharyam. This word ashcharyam means, so by the way, so ashcharya means, so when you see something wonderful, you say, oh, it's ashcharya. So ashcharya means you say, oh, you see and say something like that. So the charya means saying. So ashcharya means to say aha. So something, so that aha movement we say in English. So ashcharya, something like that. So kautuhalam, I think one of the commentators mentions as ashcharyam. That's why I said this. So kautuhala samanvitam, that inquisitive words of Rama, Vishwamitra heard, and kathayamasa dharmatma tasya shabdasya nishchayam. So he started saying, so he told Rama the nishchayas. So he definitely he told him conclusively what. So Rama was having different ideas in his mind. So he wanted to know what exactly is the nature, because already he was speculating kind of what could that could be. So that now Vishwamitra answered and gave a kind of finality to Rama's thought, something like this. So Shabdasya nishchayam kathayamasa. Sorry.
One quick question. This Mahateja, is one Mahateja. So what is the usage there? It is adjective to Rama again, right?
Yeah, Mahateja. Mahateja is, so it might look like it's plural, but it's used like that. Mahateja means, so it's singular only. It's used to Rama. So if you have seen before also, Mahateja keeps coming. So or maybe it's Aviya. I have to check, but Mahateja, you always it's said like that. Mahateja only it's used, even when it's addressed to one person. So Mahateja Rama is adjective to Rama. So Rama who has great tejas, so Tejasvi Rama. Raghavasya vachah shrutva, so that is over. So Raghavasya vachah shrutva kautuhala samanvitam kathayamasa dharmatma tasya shabdasya nishchayam. Kailasa parvate Rama manasa nirmitam param brahmana narashardula tenedam manasam saraha tasmat susrava sarasas sadhyo sayodhyam upaguhate sarah pravritta sarayuh punya brahma saraschuta tasyayam atulash shabdo janhavim abhivartate vari sanksho bhajo Rama pranamam niyatah kuru. So now he's explaining what exactly is that sound. So he's starting from, so long story he's saying. Valmiki is mentioning it in 2-3 lines, but he's giving a long story. Kailasa parvate Rama manasa nirmitam param. So brahmana manasa nirmitam. Kailasa parvate, on Kailasa mountain, by this Brahmaji, Brahma. So brahmana manasa nirmitam. So Brahma from his mind, he created a particular water body. So brahmana nirmitam param. So tenedam manasam saraha, this manas sarovar, what we are calling today, so that was created by Brahmaji through his mind at Kailasa Parvata. So Narashardula he Narashreshta Rama. So this there was a water body that was created by Brahma through his manas at Kailasa Parvata. Therefore that water body got the name Tenedam Manasam Saraha. Idam means not the saras that is in front of them. In front of them there is Sarayu and Ganga. He's explaining how Sarayu river was born. That's what he's trying to say. So idam Manasam Saraha means, so that Prasiddham Manasam Saraha, so that Manas Sarovar, which is in Kailasa, that was created by Brahmaji from his mind. So Tasmat Susrava Sarasaha Sayodhyam Upaguhate. So Tasmat Sarasaha, from that Saras Brahma, so from that Manas Sarovar, this what you see, this Sarayu Nadi, which is there in the next line, Sarayu, this is Sarayu Nadi. So it has been flowing from that Saras, Manas Sarovar. So Tasmat Sarasaha Susrava, Sarayu, the Sarayu river is flowing from that Manas Sarovar. Sayodhyam Upaguhate, the Sarayu Nadi, how is it flowing? So it flows as though, so even Shiromani Kara has a beautiful description. He's saying we have to check geographically on Google Maps and things like that. So So whether it's true, maybe if it's not true, then they are speaking of an Ayodhya which is different from the Ayodhya that we see today. Because like we saw earlier, so Ayodhya described in Ramayana as a much bigger expanse. The Ayodhya today is about 80 square kilometers or something. The Ayodhya of Ramayana is 525 square kilometers. We've seen all this thing. So Shiromani Kara is describing that Sarayu is like it's like hugging Ayodhya. So from three sides it is bound, it is, what should I say, it is surrounding Ayodhya from three sides. And Shiromani and Bhushanakara is giving the description also. Upaguhate means avritya pravahate Ayodhyayaha paschima bhagam arabhya uttaradik bhagena purva bhagam agatya angadeshe gangaya saha yujyate sarayu tayo nadyo sam. So tayo nadyo is coming later. So this Sarayu Nadi, it is coming to Ayodhya from its western direction. So it's hitting Ayodhya. Hitting means it is reaching Ayodhya from Ayodhya's west. From west it is flowing to north. From north it is flowing to the eastern direction of Ayodhya. So Paschima, then Uttara and Purva. So from Paschima, Uttara. So it's bounding, what should I say, Ayodhya on its west, north and east, and from the eastern direction it is reaching Angadesha, where it is meeting Ganga. So if you remember, so he says in the previous Sarga also, we have reached this confluence of Sarayu and Ganga, which is in Angadesha. This is Angadesha, where Sarayu and Ganga meet and things like that. So that is what Govinda Raja is describing in his Vyakhya. So in the Angadesha, this Sarayu, in fact, he's even describing how it meets and things like that. It seems that the confluence, Sarayu Nadi is at a little, at a slightly higher kind of altitude, and Ganga is a little lower altitude. So Sarayu is falling into Ganga. Therefore, because of that fall, this sound that Rama is able to hear, so that sound is coming because Sarayu is falling into Ganga. So Tasmat Susrava Sarasaha Sayodhyam Upaguhate. Upaguhate means Avritya Pravahate. So for that, these people have written an explanation. So Avritya means, so surrounding, encircling, Pravahate, flowing. So it's flowing by encircling Ayodhya. So on three directions, it is encircling and flowing. And then at Angadesha, it is meeting Ganga Nadi. Sayodhyam, Sa means that Sarayu Nadi, Sa Ayodhyam Upaguhate. Sarah Pravritta Sarayu Punya Brahma Saraschuta. So Sarah Pravritta Sarayu. So he's giving the etymology of Sarayu Nadi, because it is born from the Saras, Brahmamana Sarovar, it is born. So from the Brahmamana Saras, it is Manasa Saras, it's born. Therefore it's called Sarayu. So Sarah Pravritta Sarayu. Punya Brahma Saraschuta. So it is Punya, very auspicious Nadi. The Sarayu Nadi is why. Why is it auspicious? Because Brahma Saraschuta. So it is born, it is flowing from the Brahma Saras, therefore it is very auspicious. Tasyayam Atula Shabdo Janhavim Abhivartate. Tasyayam Atula Shabdaha. This sound that you hear, He Rama, this is the sound of that Sarayu Nadi, which is falling into Ganga. Janhavim Abhivartate. Janhavim Abhivartate means it's flowing towards Ganga. That is, it's going and meeting Ganga. So at that meeting point, the sound that you are hearing is that sound that you hear at its meeting point. Tasyayam Atulaha Shabdaha. Atulaha means that which is immeasurable. So there is some great noise you can. So therefore you can imagine how much that confluence sounds. So how what should I say? How strong the currents and things like that are, that the Sarayu is falling into Ganga and things like that. Tasyayam Atula Shabdo Janhavim Abhivartate. Vari Sanksho Rama. So this Shabda that you hear is Vari Sanksho Bhaja Shabda. So Vari Sanksho Bhaja is, so this Vari means waters. So waters are hitting each other, Sankshobha is, so that coming together and hitting. So that Sankshobhaja Shabda. So that the Shabda that you hear is born from that hitting of waters of each other. So earlier in 5th shloka also, Toya Samrambha Vardhitam. I didn't explain it fully there. So Toya Samrambha Vardhitam means the sound that you hear is caused, so that loudness of the sound is because the waters are hitting each other. So Toya Samrambha is, so they are coming together, they are hitting each other. Therefore there is sound, and it is Vardhitam. So the Shabda is increase. So waters may come together, but why is there so much sound? Because they are flowing so quickly and things like that. Therefore when they come and hit each other, the sound is increased. So there's a loud noise, etc. So Toya Sanksho Bhajo Rama, Vari Sanksho Bhajo Rama. This Shabda is Vari Sanksho Bhajaha. So this Shabda is the Shabda born because these waters are hitting each other. Rama Pranamam Niyatah Kuru. Hey Rama, therefore do your Pranama. So Nadi, this confluence of rivers or confluence of Nadi with ocean. So it's supposed to be an auspicious side. Therefore, He Rama, Niyataha Pranamam Kuru. So because it is ordained like that, therefore, He Rama, do Namaskara. You can see, I think I mentioned last time also. So I have been to that place where Godavari meets into Bay of Bengal. So there's some place in Andhra, it's a famous Tirtha Kshetra also. If you go to that temple and that place on that river, they will take you in a boat. It's a very beautiful sight to see. So confluence of a river and an ocean, or confluence of two rivers, these are supposed to be Punya Kshetra. So He Rama, therefore do Namaskara, because it's ordained like that. Niyataha Pranamam Kuru. Tabhyam tu Tavbhav Krutva Pranamam Ati Dharmikau. Tiram Dakshinamasad Jagmatur Laghu Vikramo. Tabhyam tu. So Tavubhav means Rama Lakshmana. Tau Ubhav. So those two Rama Lakshmana. Tabhyam means so Sarayu Ganga Bhyam. Pranamam. So Tavubhav Ati Dharmikau. These Rama and Lakshmana are very dharmic people. Therefore, what did they do? Pranamam Kutabhyam Pranamam Krutva. So to that Ganga and Sarayu, they did their pranama, and Tiram Dakshinamassadya Jagmatur Laghu Vikramau. So therefore, after that they crossed and reached the southern banks of that river. So mind you, from Ayodhya they are coming down. So Anga, I think, is Angadesha is Bihar or something like that. So from they are coming down like that. So therefore they have reached the southern banks, means they have crossed now. That confluence they have now crossed. Tiram Dakshinamassadya Jagmatur Laghu Vikramau. So they, after crossing that river, Ganga river now, so they have now started walking again. Laghu Vikramau means, so they are putting small steps. Laghu means, so Vikrama is Pada Vikshepa, I told you earlier also. So the gait of the feet is called Vikrama, and Laghu Vikrama means, so their steps are very small. They are small children, you know. So Vishwamitra is tall and old enough, so he is putting long steps, but Rama and Lakshmana are putting small steps. So Laghu Vikramau, Dakshinam Tiram Asadya, Pranamam Krutva, so etc. So they did pranama, etc. And then they are now going. Laghu Vikramau, Jagmatuhu means they are now going. Now Savanam Ghora Sankasham Drishtva Naravaratmajaha Aviprahata Maikshvakaha Papracha Munipungavam. So Savanam Ghora Sankasham Drishtva. Now they are going, and now they have reached a particular forest which is very dreadful to see. Ghora Sankasham. So Drishtva. So having seen that Vanam which is Ghora Sankasham, very dreadful to see. So Naravaratmajaha. So Naravara is Dasharatha. So Narashrestha Tasya Atmajaha Ramaha. So the son of that Dasharatha Naravara, Narashrestha Dasharathasya Putraha Ramaha, he asked, so Abravit. So Papracha means he asked Vishwamitra, Munipungavam, Vishwamitram, Papracha, he asked. What did he ask? So Apravit. So he asked, that will come later. So Ikshvakaha means Ikshvaku Kula Sampannaha, so Sambhavaha Ramaha. So one who was born in that Ikshvaku Kula, that Rama asked. Papracha means he asked. What did he ask? So that will come. Aviprahatam. Aviprahatam means that, so there is no Janasanchara in that forest. People are not moving up and down. Such kind of forest he saw. So this forest is very dreadful to see, and there are no people in that moving around in that forest. So what is this forest? He's going to ask that. Now there is a small description. So there is a small description here of that forest, which is in Tataka's context, I thought I will tell two things. One is because most of you are Telugu people, you can listen to this. I will share a link. So if I remember rightly, there was a there is still that lady is there, but the name I might falter. But from what I remember, her name is Vinnakota Ramakumari. Either it's Ramakumari or Surya Kumari. Vinnakota Ramakumari, I think. She was a Harikatha exponent, and in Harikatha, so in Telugu Harikatha, Telugu people believe that they have pioneered Harikatha, which may be true also. So there was one person called Ajjada Adibhatla Narayana Dasa. He was from Srikakulam or somewhere, which he was supposed to be the father of Harikatha that we see. He was a relatively modern person. He was there in the early 20th century. He was still there, etc. So that Ajjada Adibhatla Narayana Dasa wrote a Harikatha called Sita Kalyanam, in which there is a description of forest of Tataka. So the description that I think Vishwamitra gives of that forest, which these people, very beautiful description. Even if you know Telugu, if you watch it, you will not understand most of it anyway, but still it's very nice to listen, because the description is very beautiful. That is one. And second thing, even Kalidasa describes very nicely the forest, and then Tataka. So he says Tataka chala kapala kundala. So he describes like that, Kalidasa, that description is not coming in Valmiki Ramayana, but Kalidasa adds, he says this Tataka who is coming, see this Tataka is coming, when she is walking, she has earrings made of skulls, Kapala Kundala. So that Kapala is her Kundala. So her earrings are made of Kapala. And then when she is walking, so she's walking so heavily that those earrings are also moving. So Tataka Chala Kapala Kundala. Chala means moving. That moving kapalas are her kundalas. Tataka, Chalaka, Pala, Kundala. But anyway, this Harikatha thing I will share. Please do watch. It's a nice description of the forest. So how dangerous the forest is, what sounds that are there in the forest, etc. So Valmiki tries to describe a little here, and then that this has been built upon there. Anyway, sir, so Savanam Ghora Sankasham Drishtva Naravaratmajaha Aviprahatam Aikshvakaha Papracha Munipungavam. So Rama asks the following words. What is he saying? The following words. He's asking. What is he asking? Aho vanamidam durgam jhillika gana samyutam bhairavai shwapadaih kirnam shakuntair darunaravaihi nana prakarai shakunair vasyadbhir bhairavasvanaihi simha vyaghra varahaischa varanaischa pishobhitam धवाश्वकर्णककुभैर् बिल्वतिन्दुकपाटलैः संकीर्णं बदिरीभिश्च किन्विदं दारुणं वनं. So aho vanamidam durgam. This vana looks, durgam means impenetrable. It's very difficult to cross over. So it's very dangerous. It's very dark and things like that. Durgam means difficult to cross. So impenetrable. This vana looks like that impenetrable vana. So whom does this belong to? So kimnu idam darunam vanam. So whose vana is this? So that's what he's asking. So this kimnu idam darunam vanam you can see in 16th shloka. So now he's describing, Rama is describing the forest here. Aho vanam idam durgam. Very aho means is ashtarya. It is aho vanam. This vanam is very impenetrable. And then jhillika gana sanyutam. Jhillika is, so these so Shiromani Kara and Govinda Raja have two different kind of interpretations to this jhillika. Jhillika is, they are saying there is some particular kind of insect. Shiromani Kara is telling that insect is in the sky. Govinda Raja is telling that insect is in the earth, on the earth's surface or whatever. And then English translation I have checked, it's written as crickets. Maybe it's true. So there is this insect which is making this jill. So this jill sound they are making. That's why they are called jhillika maybe. So that jhillika gana sanyutam. So jhillika gana means a swarm of insects. So this forest is filled with a swarm of insects. And bhairavai shwapadai kirnam. So bhairavaihi means ghoraihi. Shwapadaihi means krura murgaihi. So it's filled. Kirnam means it's filled with these cruel or whatever. So ghora. So these cruel animals which have a very dreadful sound. When they roar, they have a dreadful sound. They say bhairavam means, so ravam means sound. So bhairavam means if that animal is making sound, it looks like the sound is bhai, that sound it's making, they say. So bhairavam means, so bhai is the sound that it makes. So anyway, it's a very dangerous or dreadful kind of sound to hear. Such kind of cruel animals, wild animals are there in that forest. Shakuntair darunaravaihi. So the Shakunta is a particular pakshi. Shakunta pakshi, I think, so English translation is written as vultures. So it's filled with vultures, which also has darunaravaihi shakuntaihi kirnam. So rava means sound, I told you, and daruna means very dreadful, very scary kind of sound that vulture is also making. Such kind of vultures are there, such kind of wild animals are there in this forest. So he's able to hear all those things. Nana prakarai shakunair vasyadbhir bhairavas. So is again beauty of Valmiki's description. First he's hearing the sounds, and then perhaps Rama is noticing here and there where are those sounds coming from. He's hearing sounds of vultures. He's hearing some other wild animal sound, and maybe he's looking at that direction, and then he's actually finding those animals. So next he's describing the animals itself. Nana prakarai shakunair vasyadbhir bhairavasvanaihi. So it is filled with, so shobhitam vanam. Shobhitam means here you should say it's filled with, vana's beauty is increased by the trees, etc., and also by the animals. Therefore shobhitam you can say. But this vana is filled with, so nana prakaraihi shakunaihi. So different kinds of vultures, different kinds of animals also is going to say later. Nana prakaraihi shakunaihi vasyadbhi means they are staying there. Such kind of vultures which are bhairavasvanaihi, whose sound is very dreadful. Such kind of vultures are staying here. Simha vyaghra varahaischa varanaischa pishobhitam. So simha is lion, vyaghra is tiger, varaha is wild boar, and then varana are elephants. So in that forest it seems simha, vyaghra, wild boars, and varana, all these things are there. So as a thinking person, we should get this doubt: is there any forest where lion and tiger coexist? So they say, as far as what I've heard and remembered, lion and tiger don't coexist in a forest. Both are like, they are the ultimate in the food chain. If both lion and forest are there in a forest, a lion and tiger are there in the forest animals cannot survive or something like that. So you have to give some alternate meaning to that. So some meaning I thought of, which I am giving you. I always mean humble I. So that I thought of some meaning by Rama's grace, which I am giving you. That Simha Vyaghra, I don't know if it's grammatically correct or not. It should be correct. Simha Vyaghra means Simha Shrestha. So like Nara Vyaghra, you know. So Simha Vyaghra means so great lions are there in that forest. You can take like that. So Simha Vyaghra Varahaischa. So if I say like that, then it cannot be. It can still be Bahuvachana Varahaihi. Simha Vyaghra Varahahi means Bahuvachana is there. If I say Simha Vyaghra is only one animal, and then Varaha, then together there are many of those species, you know. So therefore, Bahuvachana will work out still. So Simha Vyaghra Varahaishcha. Literal meaning is Simhas are there, tigers are there, Varahas are there, elephants are there, such kind of animal. You will see later day. I don't know about other languages, but in later day, for example, in Andhra Bhagavatam of Potana also. So when the description of Gajendra's forest comes, so they start he starts writing. It's there in all kavis. You know, they are called. That's why they are called Prabandha kavis. Where they, when there is an occasion to describe something, they will describe to such absurdities as though everything is there in that forest. They'll say this tree is there, that tree is there, this tree is there, that tree is there, this animal, that animal. So actually, there will be no forest where all those trees are there. In fact, so some of those trees are incompatible, some of those animals are incompatible. So how do you explain those things? So in their enthusiasm they wrote it that way. So Swamiji always mentions this, that there was, I think this person called C.R. Reddy, who was, I think, the founder of Andhra University. So he nicely critiqued all these Prabandha Kavis and wrote a book or something on them. So Swamiji mentions this, so I'm mentioning it from there. But anyway, so these people, so Valmiki at least is limiting to Simha and Vyaghra. But later day Kavis, you know, once the description of forest has come, then they will describe that as though all animals exist in the forest, which may not be always possible. Anyway, Simha Vyaghra Varahaischa Varanaischa api Shobhitam. So that forest is filled with these so very dreadful vultures, lion, tiger, etc. So Varaha and elephants. Dhava, so now he's describing the trees. Now he's speaking even more specifically, he's noticing the trees also. Dhavashva Karna Kakubhair Bilva Tinduka Patalaihi Sankirnam Badiribhishcha Kimvidam Darunam Manam. So I don't know the names of all these trees. Just take it from me that whatever Sanskrit names, so you have to take. So I think in Valmiki he has given those scientific names, etc. So Dhava trees are there, Ashwakarna trees are there, Kakubha Vriksha, I know Kakubha Vriksha is Arjuna Vriksha. So Kakubha is there, Bilva, then Tinduka, and then Patala. All these trees are there, you know, in that forest. Sankirna means it's filled with all these trees. Badari Bhishcha, and then Badari Vriksha is there. So this forest, which is filled with this different kinds of trees and different kinds of animals and these vultures, etc. So whose forest is this? Kim Vidam Darunam Manam. So it's such Kim Vidam Darunam Manam means who stays here. That's the idea. Then Tamuvacha Mahateja Vishwamitro Mahamunihi Shruyataam Vatsakakuchstha Yasyaitat Darunam Manam. So Tamuvacha Mahateja, that Mahateja Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra Tam means Rama who has asked this question. Tamuvacha Mahamunihi, that great Muni. Shruyatam Vatsa. Hey, Vatsa means hey child. So O child, Rama Kakutstha Shruyatam, listen, I will tell you. Yasyaitat Darunam Manam. This Vanam is whose Vana, that I will tell you. So this Yasya, he is using Pullinga. He is going to say this is Tataka's Vana. He is using Pullinga here. For that they have Yasya Praninaha. So Yasya means, so that, so whose Yasya, he is using Pullinga, that has to be explained. So Tilakakara is telling Yasya Praninaha. Which Prani's forest this is, that I will tell you. So therefore that Pullinga problem is is solved. So Yasya Praninaha. So I will tell you. So Yasyaitat Darunam Manam, this Darunam Manam, very dreadful forest, to whom it belongs, that I will tell you. Please listen. Etau Janapadau Sphitau Purvamastam Narottama Maladascha Karushascha Deva Nirmana Nirmitau. So he's telling this forest that is there. So it was once upon a time, it was two villages or whatever, two places, villages you can take, two villages that you, this forest that you see is actually once upon a time it was two villages, and the names of those villages are so Malada and Karusha. Maladaha, Karushaha. So this plural is used. Vyakyakaras are telling plural is generally used in describing. So Panchalaha, so etc. When they say, so it actually means the Panchala Desha. So Maladaha means that Malada Desha and Karusha Desha. So it is that village. Two villages are there. So Etau Janapadau. Janapadau means so this village or whatever. So that village, Spitau means very expansive. So huge villages. Purvam Astam Narottama. Purvam Hey Narottama Rama, Purvam, these used to be two villages. And what are their name? Astam means, Astam is Dvivachana. So they used to be these two villages called Malada and Karusha. And then Deva Nirmana Nirmitau. Deva Nirmana Nirmitau means, so again you can interpret it two, three ways. So Deva Nirmana Nirmitau means it has been made by Devatas themselves, or it has been made with so much effort as though Devatas Nagari was built, Deva Nirmana Nirmitau. So it was made by um, Deva Nirmana Nirmitau. Let me try to give you. So Devanam Nirmanam Prayatnaha Tena Nirmitau. So Devanam Nirmanam. So Devanam Prayatnaha. So Tena Prayatnena Nirmitau. So with such great efforts that only gods can make. So with such effort, these villages were built. पुरा वृत्रवधे राम मलेन समभिप्लुतं क्षुधा चैव सहस्राक्षं ब्रह्महत्या समाविशत्. पुरा वृत्रवधे, हे Rama, so सहस्राक्षं, so Vritrasura. So after Vritrasura's vadha happened by Indra. You see, the story that he is giving also is a Vaidika story. Vritrasura vadha by Indra is a Vaidika story. So when that Indra killed Vritrasura, after that slaying of Vritrasura by Indra, so Malena Samabhiplutam Sahasraksham Samavishat. So Brahmahatya Samavishat. So this Sahasraksha Indra, after killing Vritrasura, so Malena Kshudhayaja Samabhiplutam. So this Indra who was filled with Mala. Mala is impurity and Kshudha is hunger. So there was impurities and hunger for that Indra. So and then because he killed Vritrasura, he got Brahmahatya dosha also. Brahmahatya Samavishat. So this Brahmahatya came and kind of got hold of him. That is, he got Brahmahatya dosha. So Brahmahatya, because Vritrasura is, so he is one of those Brahma. So he's Brahmanasa Putra, something like that. So he's something to do, his son or grandson of Brahma, something like that. Therefore so Indra has killed him. Therefore Indra gets Brahmahatya dosha. So after killing Vritrasura, Indra was filled with so this Mala and Kshudha. So Malada and Karusha. Karusha means hunger. Okay, so Kshudha means hunger. So this Indra got Mala and hunger. So he was filled with impurities and hunger, and also he got this Brahmahatya dosha. Tamindram Malinam Deva Rishayascha Tapodhana Kalashai Snapayamasur Malam Chasya Pramochayan. So Tamindram means, so that Indra who got that Brahmahatya dosha and Mala and Kshudha, that Indra, Devaha Rishayascha. So some Devas and Rishis, Tapodhanaha. Tapodhana means that Rishis who had great tapas, Kalashaihi Snapayamasuhu. So they did Abhisheka to that Indra with many kalashas of water. Malanchasya Pramochayan. So why did they do that Abhisheka to Indra? So that his Mala along with Mala, you should take Kshudha also. So that his Mala and Kshudha go away. Therefore they did Abhishekam to him. इह भूम्यां मलं दत्वा देवाः कारुषमेव च शरीरजं महेन्द्रस्य ततो हर्षं प्रपेदिरे. So here in this place is where they did that Abhisheka to him. So when they did that Abhisheka, so Indra got rid of his, this story, you should take it that way. Okay, so Indra's, as though Kshudha and Mala, so Mala and Kshudha, Brahmahatya, these things are not physical things sticking to the body, At least Mala is, how do you explain Kshudha? So what they are saying is, after doing that Abhisheka, that Mala and Kshudha, so they left his body and went to this place. That is, if you clean this dirt on your body and if you have bath, that dirt will go to the earth, so something like that. Iha bhumyam. So in this bhumi, malam datva devah karushamevacha. So Mahendrasya sharirajam malam. So that of that Indra. So the malam born out of Indra's body, sharirajam malam Mahendrasya. So karushamevacha, and the hunger also of Indra. Iha bhumyam datva. So they gave to this bhumi. They gave to this bhumi means they washed him, and that Mala and Karusha, etc., it went to that bhumi. It fell there. So tato harsham prapedire. So now they also became very happy. They became happy. Why? Because Indra's Kshudha, Mala, etc. went away. Therefore they became happy. Nirmala nishkarushascha shuddha indro yatha bhavat tato deshasya suprito varam pradad anuttamam. Nirmala nishkarushascha shuddha indro yatha bhavat tato deshasya suprito varam pradad anuttamam. So when this Indra became Nirmala and Nishkarusha, so once Indra got rid of his Mala and of his hunger, so Nirmala Nishkarushascha Shuddha Indro Yatha Bhavat. Indraha Shuddha Yatha Bhavat. When that Indra became Shuddha, why? Because he got rid of his Mala and that Karusha. ततो देशस्य varam pradad anuttamam. So this Supritaha, Indra became very happy because he got rid of those things. Therefore, to that desha he gave a great varam. So anuttamam varam pradad. So he gave a great vara to that Indra. Imau janapados phito khyatim loke gamishyataha maladascha karushascha mamanga maladharino. So this janapada, these two janapadas villages, Imau, these two janapadas phito, very expansive villages, expansive, not expensive, expansive, very big villages. Khyatim loke gamishyataha. So Indra's blessing those two villages that you will gain great fame in this world, both of you. Maladascha karushascha amanga maladharino. So you will get fame in this world. That is, you will get this name as Malada and Karusha. Such names you will get. Why? Because Mamanga Maladharino. Because these, so it's as the addressing those villages. So because you have taken away my impurities of this body and of my hunger. Mama Angamala. Angamala means Angaja Mala. So that Mala born from my body, since you have taken away, and since you have taken away my hunger, therefore you will get this name called Malada and Karusha. So Malam Dyati Khandayati ti Maladaha. So that is that which has removed the impurities of Indra. And Karusha Masyasti ti Karushaha. So Karushaha, I don't know how to explain. So hunger, so there is hunger was removed at this place, like that you should take. So Karusha and Malada, so that villages, so Indra is blessing them that you will be famous by these two names. So since that day, people started calling those villages as Malada and Karusha. साधु साध्विति तम देवाः पाकशासनमब्रुवन् देशस्य पूजां तां दृष्ट्वा कृतां शक्रेण धीमता. So शक्रेण धीमता, शक्रेण, by that very wise Indra, that देशस्य पूजां, तां देशस्य पूजां दृष्ट्वा तां देशस्य तां कृतां पूजां दृष्ट्वा. So having seen the puja here means, so the respect that he paid, Indra paid to those villages. Having seen that respect that Indra pays to that villages, all the devas, etc., they became very happy and said sadhu sadhu. Sadhu means well done. So well done, well done. They said like that. Sadhu sadhuti tam devaha pakashasanam abruvan. So pakashasana is Indra. So they see the respect that Indra paid to those two villages, and they are happy, and they say to Indra sadhu sadhu, well done, etc. So when you are happy, you have this vipsa. This repetition is called vipsa, you know. So sadhu sadhu, when they are saying, so that vipsa is because of harsha, out of happiness they are saying sadhu. Sometimes in Brahma Sutra it always comes when the adhyaya is ending, so the sutra will repeat itself. For example, anavritti shabdad, I think that's the last sutra of Brahma Sutra, something like that. So that repetition is for ending of the adhyaya. So anyway, so this vipsa here is out of excitement. So sadhu sadhviti tam devah pakashasanam abruvan देशस्य पूजां तां दृष्ट्वा कृतां शक्रेण धीमता. एतौ जनपदौ स्फीतौ दीर्घकालम् अरिन्दम मलदाश्च कुरुषाश्च मुदिता धनधान्यतः. So hey Arindama, hey Rama, who has caused his enemies. Etau Janapadau, these two villages, Phitau, expansive villages, Dirgha Kalam, for a very long time, Dhanadhanyataha Muditaha. So this Malada and Karusha, these two villages for a very, very long time, Dhanadhanyataha Muditaha. So that is, people of that villages were very happy because there was Dhana and Dhanyam, very nicely crop and money, a lot of wealth was created there, and then people were very happy because of that. And then suddenly something happened. Kasya chitpatha kalasya yakshini kama rupini balam naga sahasrasya dharayanti tadahya bhut tatakanam bhadrant bharya sundasya dhimataha maricho rakshasah putro yasya shakra parakramaha. So now, so kasyachit patha kala atha kasyachit tu kalasya. So after some time has passed since all that Indra story, etc., Yakshini Kamarupini, one Yakshini, who Kamarupini means one who can take form as she wills, that Yakshini Kamarupini, and then Balam Naga Sahasrasya Dharayanti, she has great power. How much power? Naga Sahasrasya, Naga means elephant. So elephant here is Naga, here means elephant. So Naga has various meanings. One of the meanings is elephant. So Naga Sahasrasya Balam Dharayanti. So she has the power of 1,000 elephants. So Naga Sahasrasya Balam Dharayanti Tadahya Bhut. So to that village, this Tataka happened to that village. That is, Tataka came to that village after some time of that Indra story, etc. Tataka Nama Bhadrante Bharya Sundasya Dhimataha. This Tataka, this Yakshini by name Tataka. Tataka Nama Yakshini. And then who she? Sundasya Dhimataha Bharya. She is the wife of this Sunda. Remember, Maricha and Subahu, they are Sundopa Sunda's putras. I told you there. So that Sunda's wife is Tataka. So Maricha is Tataka's son. So that is he is telling Maricho Rakshasa Putraha Yasya Shakra Parakramaha. The Shakra Parakramaha Marichaha. Maricha has so much power as much as Indra. So Shakra is Indra. So Shakra Parakramaha is Maricha has power of Indra. That Shakra Parakramaha Marichaha. That Rakshasaha Yasyaha Putraha. So whose son that Maricha is. So Maricha himself has Indra's power, so much power. This Maricha is whose son? That means his mother. So she must be having even more power than this Maricha. Now Tataka Nama Bhadramte, very beautiful Vyakhya that Tilakara gives here. Bhadramte means so may auspicious things happen to you. So that's he is blessing Rama. Tataka Nama Bhadramte. Bhadramte, from where did this Bhadramte suddenly come? So two ways you can say. So because Rama is a kid, so he might get suddenly scared listening about this Tataka. As even I'm telling all this Bhadramte, I'm getting goosebumps. So Bhadramte, when Vishwamitra is blessing Bhadramte, so you are a kid. So Vishwamitra thought like that. He's a kid, he might be scared listening that this great Yakshini. So Balam Nagasahasrasya, such Yakshini, this Rama might listen and get scared. Therefore, Vishwamitra is telling, don't worry, don't get scared. So you are fine, you are safe and things like that. That is one meaning. Another meaning is Te Bhadram. So this Tataka is for your good. This Tataka is for your good. Te Bhadram. Te Bhadram, it's for your good. Why? Because so you have taken avatara as a Nara and you are going to start with this Tataka, Rakshasa Vatha, you are going to start with this Tataka. Therefore, this Tataka is for your good, for your fame, this Tataka is. So for your fame, this Tataka has gone and attacked that Malada and Karusha. So this Tataka is such a Tataka. Anyway, Tataka Nama Bhadrante Bharya Sundasya Dhimataha Maricho Rakshasah Putro Yasya Shakra Parakramaha. Now he is describing Maricha's greatness. Why is he describing Maricha's greatness? To show that this Tataka is Maricha's mother. So you can imagine how much more power she must have. So at the cost of taking some time, let me just still say this. So traditionally, so there are two ways of looking at transmission of vidya and power, etc. So one way of looking at that, maybe modern people look at it that way, is to say that I am more intelligent than my father, or I am more intelligent than my mother, I am more intelligent, I am more powerful than my father or guru or whatever, I am more intelligent than them, I am more intelligent than people who came before me. That's how they take. Whereas traditionally we take that so my father, my guru, my mother, they are more powerful than me, they are more intelligent than me, etc. So it's not just a statement of Vinaya, it's also a statement of, so they are coming from somewhere. When these traditionalists are saying that my guru or my father has to be more intelligent than me, they are coming from a point that knowledge always sublimates, so how much I know, so how much I know, I may not pass on everything to somebody else. So how much I know, only some amount of it I can pass on, because it's just not possible to give as much as I think. So much I cannot communicate. See, you might become equally intelligent or more intelligent by your own effort, but then I cannot completely transmit whatever I have, something like that. So therefore we say our Purvajas are more intelligent than us, and then ultimately Purvaja, this is an Anadi thing, so it has to end with Ishvara. So if you start by saying I am more intelligent than my Purvaja, it will end up being that Ishvara knows less than you. So that problem is also there. Be that as it may, anyway, he's describing Maricha's greatness here to show that Maricha's mother she is, so how much more power she must be having. So this Maricha's description in one shloka: Vritta Bahur Mahashirsho Vipulasya Tanur Mahan Rakshaso Bhairavakaro Nityam Trasayate Prajaha. So Vritta Bahuhu means he has very extending arms, long arms. Mahashirshaha. So Shirsha is you take this entire skull, this entire face, So he's going to say so other things also for the head. So Vipulasyaha is also going to say. So therefore I'm saying Shirshaha means take this entire skull. So he has a big skull. So big Shirsha he has. And Vipulasyaha. Asya means, so Asya is just this face part, not the entire head, but just the face. So by Shirsha you can take head, and Asya you can take the face. Face is this part of the head, So this face is also very big for him. Very big means very scary. That's what he's trying to say. So Vipulasya Tanur Mahan. So his tanu means body, So this body, his body of that Maricha Mahan Tanuhu, how is that Tanu of him? This Tanu has a huge head. That's what his huge face. That's what he means. Vipulasya Tanuhu, Vipulasya Mahan Tanuhu. That is his body. His body is so big, and that big body has a big face also. That is the literal meaning. Vipulasya Tanur Mahan Rakshasaha Bhairavakaraha. So Bhairavakaraha is very scary to see. So that kind of rupa he has. Nityam trasayate prajaha. He always causes trasa. Trasa is some. He was always troubling people. That Maricha. So imau janapadau nityam vinashayati raghava maladanscha karushanscha tataka dushtacharini. So that one shloka was about Maricha. It's all in Pullinga. Therefore we say it's on Maricha. Why did he mention Maricha? Because she is Maricha's mother. So you can imagine how much more power she must be having. Now he's coming back to Tataka. Imau janapadau nityam vinashayati raghava. So this Tataka dushtacharini. So Tataka who's always doing these evil deeds. That Tataka imau janapadau nityam vinashayati. So she always has been troubling and causing great harm and destruction to these two villages. Hey Raghava, Maladanscha Kurushanscha. To these two villages, Maladaha and Karudaha, she has been always causing, tormenting those villagers, and even the village she has been destroying. Seyam Panthanam Avritya Vatset Yadha Yojane Ata Eva Gantavyam Tatakaya Vanam Yataha. So Seyam Panthanam. So the Seyam Panthanam has to go with the previous verse. So Seyam Panthanam Avritya Vatsayat Yadhayojane. So Sa Tataka Yam Panthanam Avritya. So that Tataka has taken grasp over this root of this forest root which is covering both the villages. So this forest root she has taken control over. So say Panthanam Avritya. Avritya means so she has taken control over that place. Avritya Vasati. So Avritya Vasati means she has taken control and stays there. There means where. So Vasati means where from. So Ardhayojane. Vasati Atyardhayojane. Atyardhayojane means so 1.5 yojanas from where we are. So she stays there. So Vishwamitra exactly knows where she is staying in that forest also. So 1.5 yojanas from where we are staying currently, this Tataka stays there. So Seyam Panthanam Avritya Vasatyatyardha Yojana. Atyardha Yojana is Atyardha word has come before. Atyardha word has come before also. Atyardha means 1.5. Atyardha Yojane means 1.5 yojanas away from where we are now. Hey Raghava, this Tataka stays there. Now Ata Evacha Gantavyam Tatakaya Vanam Yataha. Swabahu Balam Ashritya Jahimam Dushtacharini is a very interesting verse in the way it is constructed. It can give two meanings. So Ata Evacha Gantavyam Tatakaya Vanam Yataha Swabahu Balam Ashritya Jahimam Dushtacharini. One meaning is to say Yataha Gantavyam Yataha Vanam Gantavyam. So Yataha Tatakaya Vanam Gantavyam. Because we have to cross through this forest, Ataeva Swabahu Balamashritya Jahimam Dushtacharini. Because we have to cross this forest, therefore you have to use your Bahubala and Bahubalam Ashritya Jahimam Dushtacharini. So you should use your Bala and win over. Jahimam means you destroy, you kill that Tataka, this Dushtacharini, that Tataka, you have to kill. Why should I kill? Because we have to cross this path. Ataeva cha gantavyam tatakaya vanam. So this other meaning that you can give is so ataeva cha yataha. So the second meaning is because you have to kill her, therefore we will go to the forest. So I hope you got the meaning clearly. So two ways you can interpret it. One is because we have to go through the forest, therefore you have to kill her. Or the other way is to say because we have to kill her, therefore let us go through this forest. Maybe there's an alternate route also they can take. But Vishwamitra is telling, therefore let us go. So what are the two ways that you can interpret? Yataha Tatakaya Vanam Gantavyam Ataeva Swabahubalam Ashritya Jahimam Dushtacharini. That is one way. Or Yataha Swabahubalam Ashritya Jahimam Dushtacharini. So sorry, you can't give the second meaning I think. Yet anyway, Yataha Bahubalam Ashritya. So this Tataka has to be killed. Therefore Ataeva Gantavyam Tatakaya Vanam. So forget the second meaning. Anyway, you can give those two meanings, but grammatically it doesn't seem all right. In all excitement, somehow I told it. Anyway, Ataeva cha gantavyam tatakaya vanam. So therefore, we have to go through this path. Therefore, you have to kill Tataka when we come across her. Man yoga diyam desham kuru nishkantakam punaha nahi kaschidimam desham shakto hyagantumidrisham. So manniyogadimam desham kuru nishkantakam punaha. Hey Rama, I am ordering you, I am instructing you, and by my instructions, therefore you rid this place of Tataka. This Nishkantakam Kuru, this Desha, you make it Nishkantaka again. Nishkantaka is, so you make this Desha free of this Kantaka is thorn. I told you earlier. So this Tataka is like a thorn to this place, because she is there. Nobody is passing by this place. Therefore, now you rid this place of Tataka so that people can use this village again, etc. So man niyogat. So by my orders, imam desham nishkantakam punaha nishkantakam kuru. You make this place without this Tataka again. Once again, nahi kaschid imam desham shakto hyagantum idrisham. So idrisham desham means this desha which is filled with Tataka. So this desha which is filled with Tataka, because it is such a place that this Tataka is disturbing people, etc. Nahi kaschid imam desham agantum shaktaha. Nobody is able to come to this village. So it's a nice beautiful village, but because of her, nobody is coming here. See, nobody is coming here. Therefore, this is, if you remember, the question that Rama asked was, so there is no Narasanchara here. Why? So that is what he started asking. So to tell that, all that he told this story, that therefore, because this Tataka is there, nobody is coming here. Therefore, you should put an end to this Tataka so that people can use this place once again. Yakshinya Ghoraya Rama. So Manni Yoga, to Tikakaras are telling why Manni Yoga he is using Valmiki, because you might doubt, hey Rama, you might doubt that she's a Stree. How can I put an end to her? Don't have any such doubts. I am telling you, therefore you kill. Of course, the theme will come later. Specifically, Rama will ask and then Vishwamitra will say. But then Vishwamitra already anticipates that Rama might say like this. Therefore, he is telling Manni Yoga. Yakshinya Ghoraya Rama Utsaditam Asahyaya Etatte Sarvamakhyatam. So this Yakshinya Ghoraya Rama Utsaditam Asahyaya has to go with the previous verse. So this Desha has been taken control over by this Yakshini, this Ghora Yakshini. Utsaditam means it has been taken over by. So Utsaditam, just a second, Utsaditam. I think Utsaditam is that. I am not able to find now here. Just give me a second. Utsaditam 30, 32, 31. Utsaditam Piditam. Yeah. So this place has been so troubled by Tataka. Therefore, nobody is passing by this route. Etatte sarvamakhyatam yathaitat darunam manam yaksha chotsaditam sarvamadhyapina nivartate. So etatte sarvamakhyatam yathaitat darunam manam yaksha chotsaditam. So I have told you entirely, hey Rama, etatte, te means tava, to you I have told all this, sarvamakhyatam, everything I have told. What all did I tell? So what did I tell? Yatha etad darunam manam yaksha cha utsaditam sarvam. So etatte sarvam means what? What all did I tell you? That is, I told you how this entire forest, darunam manam, this yatha etad darunam manam, how, so in what manner this forest, this darunam manam, this dreadful forest, yaksha cha utsaditam. So that sarvam means all that. Yaksha cha utsaditam means like, so how this yakshi is causing trouble to this forest, all that I have told you. And therefore, and adyapina nivartate, that yakshi, that Tataka, don't think that she was there once upon a time. Even now she is still taking control of this place and she is sitting here. Adyapina nivartate means even now she has not given up troubling this place. So whoever comes by, people stop living there altogether, and even if somebody passes by, she is causing them trouble. So Ityarshe Srimad Ramayane Valmikiye Adi Kavye Balakande Chaturvimsha Sargaha. I have some points to make, but let's just finish the text. Yatra yatra Raghunath Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Krutamastakанjalim Bashpavari Paripurnalocanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Ramarpanamastu. So this Ataeva, Yata and Ataha. So I started giving that explanation because there is the beautiful usage, such a usage in, I will tell you just out of your interest, you might like such a usage. So there is a small Vyakhya, very famous Vyakhya on Tarka Sangrah called Padakritya. In that the Mangala Charanam, that Padakrityakara, whose name is Chandraja Simha, a person called Chandraja Simha has written a Vyakhya called Padakritya on Tarka Sangraha. He writes, so Shri Ganesham Shri Ganesham Namaskritva Parvati Shankaram Param Maya Chandraja Simhena Kriyate Padakrityakam. So by offering my namaskaras to Ganesha, Parvati and Shiva, so this Padakritya has been written by me. So it's being written by me, Chandraja Simha. The next verse he says, Yasmad Ahamidam Manye Balanam Upakarakam Tasmat Hitakaram Vakyam Vaktavyam Vidusha Sada. So Yasmat means because I consider. So think about it. It's very interesting. So interesting for people who know Sanskrit and appreciate it. Therefore, I'm telling you, Yasmat Aham Idam Manye Balanam Upakarakam. Because I think that this will be of great help to children. Balanam. So Balanam is a technical word there. Anyway, to Balas this will be useful. Because this will be useful. Because I think this will be useful for Balakas. Tasmad hitakaram vakyam vaktavyam vidusha sada. Therefore, wise people should always speak useful words. So, does it make any meaning? Because this is helpful to people, because this Vyakhya that I am going to write is helpful to children, therefore, wise people should always speak useful words. So, it doesn't make any sense. So it seemingly doesn't make any sense. That's why you should not read these texts on your own, perhaps. Or maybe if it's mentioned in a commentary, it's mentioned anyway. So, Acharyas will say, so how you should interpret this is, Yasmad ahamidam manye balanam upakarakam, because I think this Padakritya Tika will be useful for children, and Yasmad vidusha sada upakarakam vaktavyam, because vidushas should always speak helpful words. Tasmat, therefore, Shri Ganesham Namaskritya Parvati Shankaram Param, so Maya Chandraja Simhena Kriyate Padakrityakam. Therefore, because I don't know, so I don't know why am I telling all this to you also, but Yasmat, because this is useful to children and because wise people should always speak helpful words, therefore I am doing pranama to Parvati, Shankara and Ganesha. I am writing this Padakritya. I had that in my mind and therefore I tried to construct it that way, but grammatically it didn't work out. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. Om.